Good morning, everyone. Great to have you here with us this morning in the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo. Wonderful to have you here. Last I looked, there were about 810 families here, which is wonderful. What a space we have. What a worship space we have. Little note about our Zoom worship experience. We can't hear or see you. You can't hear or see each other. You can hear and see our worship associate, Sean Doyle, and you can hear and see me, the Reverend Joan Montagnes, and I have the honor and privilege of serving you, this congregation, as minister. Aren't I lucky? Yay! It's so good to be together. I want to put out a whole bunch of thank yous. First of all, to Josh Disick, John Petroselli, Justin DeClean, who is our tech today, Karen Streech, Bobby Withrow, Paul Zanoli, and all our music staff who help create our worship experience every single week. I also want to thank all of you who have made a pledge of financial commitment for the 2021 church year. Thanks to you, we have collected $365,000 in pledges. You folks are amazing. So let's get that last little bit in by the end of the month so we can continue to provide you with the programming you expect and even go beyond your expectations, and also not only maintain but improve our beloved church building so it's ready for you when we can return to it in person. If you haven't made a pledge yet, we'd love to receive it soon. And it's very easy to pledge. Just send an email to stewardship at buffalouu.org. That's stewardship at buffalouu.org. And if you have any questions, email me. Also, want to thank everyone who brought donations for the Mitten Tree and Family Promise holiday stockings. You brought a veritable sleigh load of mitts, hats, scarves, gloves, coats, stockings, and toys for families in our wider community to enjoy all through the upcoming chilly months. Now, speaking of chilly months, this is just about Christmas. And what happens before the Christmas is Christmas Eve. Yes, we have Christmas Eve this year. It's going to be a tad different from how we normally celebrate it. It will be on Zoom. You're going to have to bring your own eggnog, but it will be filled with as much music and magic as we have come to expect together. At 7 p.m., there will be a mulling of lessons and carols for the whole family. And at 11 p.m., there'll be the phenomenal musical service to celebrate the holiday. Both services, now get this, both services will be found at this very same web address, this same Zoom address as our regular Sunday services. Now, speaking of Christmas Eve, at the 11 p.m. service, we invite you to lift up your voice and join the choir in the processional hymn. Since this year our choir can't do its usual thing and gather behind the reredos all quiet like candles in hands and actually process out into the congregation while singing Gustav Holst's Personet Hodie, you know that one, it's the one with the 7 notes. Do 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 personet hodie, and on it goes. Well, we want you, all you singers out there, to join the choir. Be part of this year's big virtual choir. And to get involved with that, just email our music director, the fabulous Daniel Basson, at music at, at buffalouu.org. Music at buffalouu.org. Our last announcement is the same last announcement I offer you every single week, which is at the end of this worship service and every worship service into the future, I hope, we're offering a fellowship time. So to do that, obviously you can't hear or see each other in this webinar. We have to get out of the webinar and into a Zoom meeting where you can hear and see each other and talk to each other and be fellowshipy together. The Zoom address for that meeting is in the chat, in the newsletter, in the e-blast and on the last slide of this worship service. That is so much announcing. I am done. So let's take a deep breath in and let it go. Come, let us worship.
Let this be a place of warm and gentle stillness, a stillness that soothes and comforts the wounded, that yields insights into heart and soul, that calms, that listens, that speaks. Let this time together offer a stillness that renews. Let this be a place of warm and gentle stillness. Come, let us worship.
When we begin to worship in the Unitarian Universalist tradition, we light a chalice or a candle or some sort of flame to symbolize the spark which lives within. Let's join in our chalice lighting affirmation. We gather in loving community, inspiring one another to transform ourselves to create a more just and compassionate world. Today's story is about a potato. It's true. Hello, I am a potato. Not a small potato like my brother, not a sweet potato like my sister, not a mashed potato like my Uncle Stu. I am a couch potato. Oh, yeah, it's true. My favorite place to slouch is on the couch. I spend all my free time sitting in the exact same spot. Why would I ever leave my comfy, cozy couch? It's got everything a potato could need. I have my remote and my games and my headphones and my slippers. I even have a robot that fetches me snacks whenever I want them. I don't have to move an inch. The most important thing in life is to be comfortable at all times. I think I've got it all figured out. But wait, there's more. The best part of my whole spectacular setup is a sea of shimmering screens from wall to shining wall. What joy! What bliss! These screens feature my favorite shows. This screen has all my unanswered messages. This screen is where I play my video games, and this screen is a live stream of my best friend, my best spud for life. This is how my pals and I spend quality time together. So much easier than trying to meet up somewhere like folks did in the old days. hmm That's for sure. Yes, from this very couch, I can control everything in my life all the time with just a few taps and clicks. Not bad, eh? Yes, sirree, Bob. This is the life. At least, that's what I thought until the other day. Hmm, Something strange happened. There was a knock at the door. It was a delivery. Woo! It was my newest device, a video camera that would allow me to watch myself react while I was watching my favorite shows. Like, who doesn't need that? All I had to do was plug it in, and my room, nay, my empire, would be complete. But when I plugged it in, mm, everything went dark. I stumbled to the window. I pulled back the curtains. The sun seemed brighter than I remembered. There was nothing better to do, so I decided to take a walk outside. Everything was so vivid, like a high res 156-inch curved screen, but even more realistic. Something smelled fresh. After a few moments, I realized it was the air. I heard a noise, some chirps, tweet, 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 a ringtone perhaps. But no, I looked up and there were some real live birds. I wandered down the street from block to block and across the neighborhood. Eventually, I found a park with a hill. There was a massive tree on top. It was beautiful. It looked like a desktop background, only it was real. I leaned against the tree. Ah, it wasn't as comfortable as my couch, not even close. But after a while, wasn't so bad. In fact, after a while, any worries about the power outage and what I might be missing drifted away. I wasn't thinking about my favorite shows or my unanswered messages or anything else, really. I noticed the stillness, the view, the sky, the clouds, the sunset, and those colors. My goodness. It took a while because there was no fast forward option, but eventually the sun sank below the horizon. By the time I got home, the power was back on. I sat on my couch, my robot brushed my teeth and touched my pajamas. I turned the knob to watch my favorite bedtime story, but just then I noticed my reflection in one of the screens. I wondered how much of my life had been spent in that very same spot on the couch. It was then and there I made a big decision. I decided from that day forward I would peel myself off the couch, get it, a bit more often, maybe even every day. So that's what I've done. I've started hanging out with my friends outside with masks on, socially distanced. We've started biking and hiking and tubing down snowy hills and hiding and seeking. We might even watch the clouds go by. Ah, but there's no big plan ever. We just see what happens. It makes me wonder if I don't always need to be totally comfortable. What if I'm happier when I have a better balance between my screens and the outside world? Because as it turns out, I'm more than a couch potato. I'm a smart potato. I'm a sit on a hill and watch the sunset potato. I'm an amusing potato. I'm a creative potato. Yes, there's a great big world out there, even in my neighborhood, and I want to be part of it in person. But don't get me wrong. At the end of a long day, after I've run and played and laughed, I still like to slouch on the couch and maybe read a book.
I've never had such warm feelings toward a potato before, until now. Every week, we take a good portion of our Sunday morning offering and give it away to a social justice cause outside our church walls. This month, we are supporting the good work of Family Promise of Western New York. Family Promise helps keep families experiencing homelessness together by offering emergency housing and compassionate support. They create a community that wraps homeless children and their families in hope. You can use PayPal by going to our website, www.buffalouu.org, and clicking on the blue donate button. Or you can send us a check by mail to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo, 695 Elmwood Avenue, Buffalo, New York, 14222. You can also arrange a regular automatic deposit with your bank. If yours is a gift to our Share the Plate ministry, please write share on the memo line and it will be shared between Family Promise and the church operating budget. If yours is a welcome gift to our congregation, please write Pledge 2020 on the memo line. Either way, please write UUCB on the important line and we will do the bookkeeping. By sharing our blessings, we bring hope to the world. The point of doing nothing from the school of life. Our lives might be a lot more balanced if we learned to reallocate prestige, pulling it away from those with a full calendar and towards those wise enough to allow for some afternoons of reflection. We should think that there is courage not just in traveling the world, but also in daring to sit at home with one's thoughts for a while, risking encounters with certain anxiety inducing or melancholy, but also highly necessary ideas. Without the shield of busyness, we might bump into the realization that our relationship has reached an impasse, that our work no longer answers to any higher purpose, or that we feel furious with a family member who is subtly exploiting our patience. The heroically hard worker isn't necessarily in the business lounge of the international airport. It might be the person gazing without expression out the window and occasionally writing down one or two ideas on a pad of paper. The point of doing nothing is to clean up our inner lives.
One of the joys of technology is that it's always an adventure. And we had quite an adventure with that music. It's such a beautiful piece. I hope that we'll be able to hear it another time when our technology is behaving a little bit better. Apologies to all musicians. A meme has been popping up everywhere recently. It reads, "Your grandparents were called to war. You are being called to sit on your couch. You can do this." Yeah, we can do this, but it's hard. Living through a deadly pandemic is hard. Isolation, loss of freedom, disruption of habits, the technological learning curve, worry for our children, financial concerns, cabin fever, distance learning, distance working, distance playing, distance socializing. It's all hard. And the hardest of all is the fear and the illness. And hardest still is the grieving of our lost loved ones. We're all feeling very tired and raw. Do not underestimate the impact this pandemic is having on our community. Winter normally asks us to hunker down, to enter into a sort of torpor, a near hibernation. This is a season of stillness. The coronavirus demands that we remain even more still, and even more still than that. No airports or holiday parties or flurry of cooking or mall shopping to distract us from anything. We're left alone with whatever anxieties or melancholy quietly lurk within, creeping around the corners of the subconscious. It's harder than it sounds, isn't it? This being a people of stillness, called to sit on the couch. Who knows what monsters are hiding under our comfortable patina of having it all together? Though I would add one thought. If you allow stillness to reign, if you breathe into the hidden life of your mind and heart, if you courageously confront the hidden monsters within, you may discover a greater inner self and a greater outer world than you ever believed possible. Let's join in singing a meditation on breathing.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
From Teaching a Stone to Talk by Annie Dillard. It is difficult to undo our own damage and to recall to our presence that which we have asked to leave. It is hard to desecrate a sacred grove and change your mind. The very holy mountains are keeping mum. We douse the burning bush and cannot rekindle it. We are lighting matches in vain under every green tree. Did the wind used to cry and the hills shout forth praise? Now speech has perished from among the lifeless things of earth, and living things say very little to very few. Birds may crank out sweet gibberish and monkeys howl, horses neigh and pigs say, as you recall, oink oink. But so do cobbles rumble when a wave recedes, and thunders break the air in lightning storms. I call these noises silence. It could be that wherever there is motion, there is noise, as when a whale breaches and smacks the water. And wherever there is stillness, there is still small voice, God's speaking from the whirlwind, nature's old song and dance.
Let us join our hearts and minds in a quiet moment of prayer, reflection, and meditation. We hide in our homes for safety and out of fear. Alone, we may feel angry with those who break their covenant with us, who seem not to understand how to live by promises made to the greater good. We wait for the tension to give way, to break free, the tension to break open, to somehow heal injured bodies and communities. Impatience for rescue, waiting for an ambulance, silent screaming, racing to fix anything. Mothers search for their children's pulse as helicopters beat the sky. There is nothing to do but wait in stillness. And in the stillness, a great and strong wind of frustration and sorrow flings dishes off shelves. A fearsome earthquake of news and events hurls the radio into a pile of dislocated wires. A fire of hot tears burn lava like down cheeks, melting courage to its reptilian elements. We hide in our homes. There is nothing else to do. And after the wind, the earthquake, and the fire, a still small voice. And the voice asks, "What are you doing here?" Today, we especially hold in our hearts Sarah Metcalf's father, Alan, who has completely recovered from a serious case of COVID-19. And now, let us open our worship space to the names of all our loved ones suffering in sorrow and celebrating in joy, each name a breath, and each breath a prayer. The breath of nature is upon us. The spirit of life is within us. The community of love is among us. So be it. Blessed be. And let the church say, Amen.
Winter Snow by Audrey Assad. You could have come like a mighty storm with all the strength of a hurricane, but you came like a winter snow, quiet and soft and slow. No, your voice wasn't in a burning bush. No, your voice wasn't in a rushing wind. It was still, it was small, it was hidden, quiet and soft and slow.
A friend of mine once commented how much he liked rainy days. They expect less of you, he explained. The same is true with snow. Let this be a season of stillness for you, a powerful season which expects both less and more of you. Quiet isolation demands we confront the demons buried in the strong box under the floorboards. We are trapped inside with those demons. We have to confront them. Stillness demands painful soul work of us. And this season, in its power and pain, this season can also be a time of sweet rest. Ryan Knowles has been closing some of our meetings this month with a passage from Alice in Wonderland, and I'm going to share it with you. I wonder if the snow loves the trees and the fields, that it kisses them so gently, and then it covers them up snug, with a white quilt. And perhaps it says, Go to sleep, darlings, till summer comes again. This season can offer a warm and gentle stillness. quiet, soft, and slow, soothing and comforting the wounded, calming, listening, allowing time and space for the divine voice within to speak and be heard. A season of renewal which loves you and kisses you, gently covers you up and whispers, "Go to sleep, darling, until summer comes again." Let's join in singing, voice still and small.
Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still will remain singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears through all the years, singing. Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still will remain singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears through all the years, singing.
As we extinguish the flame of this chalice, may we carry its light with us into the world in the power of peace, faith, justice, and love.
Our benediction is going to be a poem by Jacqueline Woodson entitled Lullaby. At night, every living thing competes for a chance to be heard. The crickets and frogs call out. Sometimes there's a soft hoo hoo of an owl lost amid the pines. Even the dogs won't rest until they've howled at the moon. But the crickets always win, long after the frogs have stopped croaking and the owl has found his way home, long after the dogs have lain down, losing their battle against sleep. The crickets keep going, as though they know their song is our lullaby. Remember, you are blessed. Remember, you are a blessing. And above all else, remember, you're not alone. You are never alone. So be it. Blessed be, and let the church say, Amen.